Oh, good morning. It is I. My name is Mylan. I'm here to work. I'm sick, if that wasn't obvious. Ah. Oh boy, oh boy. I hope that all of you are doing well. I am. I thought I was getting better. I thought it wasn't that bad, and then I woke up in the middle of the night, and it's like, congrats. Hey, Astral. Hi, for Z Discord reasons my profile. Astral, why do you do this to me? You're punching me when I'm down. Hey, Sparky. I'm about to get off my lunch break and go back to work. I just want to stop by and say hi. Oh, I hope that you have a good work day. Thank you for dropping in. It is much appreciated. Much appreciated. Oh, I love how my face tracking is just being all weird today. It can sense that I am just deeply off. This one is Gaussian surface's fault. Oh man, we must go and fight and defeat Gaussian surface in the pit, in the pit, in the pit with Gaussian surface. I think I probably should turn on another light to make the tracking better, but I feel like the vibes on this right now with the weird mouth tracking that doesn't smile and the constant head tilt, I think that just really suits the current mood. Is my camera tilted or something? Or is it just because of I don't know. But I think my tracking's been weird. I'm not gonna worry about it. I don't have the mental or physical energy to worry about it. It's working well enough, and I'll take that. My tea is ready. Oh, I didn't think this through. I didn't think about where I was gonna put the tea bag. I guess I gotta go throw that away real fast. Can you tell that I really probably shouldn't be streaming right now? Oh no. Okay, one second. I'll be right back. I return to you. Yeah, you sound really sick. Yeah, I've I've been better. Let's put it that way. I have 100% been better than I am right now. Mm, it sucks. Like I have family in town, which never happens because I live pretty far away from the rest of my family, but I'm sick. I guess we can't control the times that this happens to us, so such is the way of things, you know? I hope that everybody else is feeling well. I really do. But you know what? The grind stops for no moth, so we must continue to prepare for the semester so that I'm not miserable during the semester. You know, this is how it works. Seriously, what is up with my tracking? Why do I have to tilt my head all the way to the left to make my head stand up straight? Something is weird. Is it the angle that my camera's at? Do I need to update something? Oh well, I'm not gonna worry about it. At least it's tracking. It was not doing that the other day at all. So I'll take that. I'll accept that. Everyone doing all right? Everyone doing okay? I hope everyone's doing all right and okay. Today, I am updating the lecture that I have on prejudice and discrimination, so it's a very cheerful topic for somebody who is in peak physical form. Ugh. I felt better, but not too bad. I'm glad it's not too bad, but I hope that you feel better, like, all the way back soon. I'm doing good, just tired and hot. Yeah, I'm hot too. I made myself some hot tea. Um, and I think it'll help with the sickness, but it's like it's so hot out. I don't want to drink hot tea, but I feel like it's probably gonna be helpful. Hey Cleo, welcome, welcome. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Much appreciated. Hey Inks, welcome. Sorry to hear you're sick. Hope you feel better soon. Oh, thank you, thank you. Hey Alex, how you doing? Hope that you're doing well. Happy to have y'all here. I may be miserable, But I'm not alone, and that is a wonderful thing. I'm not actually miserable. Like, this is far from the most sick I've been. This is the first time I've been sick in 5 years. I have not been sick for 5 entire years before this. Like, it's been a great 5 years of not being sick even once, and now, all good things must come to an end. Ow, 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 ow. Tea too hot. I need to let the tea cool down. That wasn't sickness, that was just me choking on my own water. I don't know how to drink anything anymore. I've forgotten. At least I'm not scared of the water. That would be a sign of rabies, and I don't want to get rabies. Well, hopefully this is the last time you'll be sick for the next 5 years. Yeah, I really hope so. That would be nice if I could just, like, do one illness every 5 years. That would be... I'd take that. I'd take that. If I only get sick once every 5 years, that would honestly be a pretty blessed life, right? Oh, I would like that. I think I would deeply appreciate that. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I'm not even that sick. Like, this is definitely not the worst I've ever had it, but, I've just become weak. I've become weak at handling illness. Life has been too kind to me. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I'm very grateful for all the kindness that life has shown me. Why is it that when I'm looking straight ahead, my head is turned all the way to the right? Something is weird. Camera, are you okay? This is real weird. I don't know what's going on. I'm not gonna worry about it. It could very well just be the hey Xeno time, welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, it's letting me smile now. It could just be the lighting. Maybe I should turn on another light and see if that helps. Oh, I like how that looks all smug. Oh, okay. That seems to have helped. Not entirely, but I think it's helped a little bit. No, I don't think it changed anything, actually. I thought it did, but I don't think it's actually improved. Well, we gotta be productive. That's what matters. We gotta be productive. We gotta work on these lectures. The semester waits for no one. Water. All right. So these slides are about separating out the concepts of stereotyping, prejudice, and discrimination. Stereotypes being beliefs, prejudice being emotions or feelings and attitudes, and discrimination being behavior. Started doing work at a cheese factory. Didn't realize I'd have to wear hairnets as a construction worker. That is kind of surprising. Hey, Clee! Hey, Clee! I'm sorry, I just read your message and my brain just soft locked. I I'm not like mentally prepared for that right now. Oh man. The people are bullying me when I'm sick. Try turning it off and on again. Hmm, that's true. Maybe I should close out the YouTube Studio and restart it. Or maybe I should just switch to a different model. I don't think switching to a model would help, but let's try restarting VTube Studio. That always works. It's true. It's true. It always works. What could possibly go wrong? I bet it's not gonna work. I bet it's not gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work. I was talking about your brain, but yeah. Oh, turning the brain on and off again. Yeah, I don't think that would work, but you never know. It could be worth a shot. I'm switching to another model because I feel it. I feel like that's a good idea right now. I want to play with this one a little bit. No, come back here. Oh my God. Co-working stream, heck yeah. Hey, Cryo, welcome. I've changed in my truest form. I am now a flame. This is a model I made on a whim like, a little bit ago, and I thought it would be fun. I'd recommend switching to another brain. I am, in fact, all fast brain, no deep thought allowed. Oh no. What am I working on? I am currently working on, I'm working on updating some PowerPoints. I don't know if anyone else is working on stuff. Oh, literal burnout in psych, yeah. I'm burning out. I'm burning out. This represents the fever that I probably have. I haven't taken my temperature, but I wouldn't be surprised. Ooh. Okay, I should probably switch back to normal. I think this model, it's fun, but it's got a lot of little shenanigans to work out before it's set for proper use. I'm doing nothing right now. I should be making annoying vacuum plots right now when I finally finish my awful simulation. I haven't actually heard of vacuum plots. Now I'm very curious what a vacuum plot is. Why does it keep... Ironically, I just finished doing some work when the stream started. Hey, good job. Good job. You have earned some rest. You can get some rest now. You have earned it. All right. So 2 small flames at the bottom make it look like the flame is doing a little hand jig. Nice. It's not as an actual type of plot, just plots for vacuum system I'm working on. Oh, see, I was thinking that it was an actual plot because there's a type of plot that we use sometimes in statistics called a violin plot. And I was like, oh, a violin plot. Maybe a vacuum plot's also a real thing if a violin plot is a real thing. Have a good day, Sparky. I hope that work goes well. I hope that you had a restful break. Thank you for dropping in. Viola plot when? Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe you could call a violin plot a viola plot. Big fan of violin plots. Me too, Inks. I like violin plots. I think they should be more common, but also, like, whenever somebody sees a violin plot for the first time, like, someone save me from complex analysis. I'm sorry. How complex are we talking? Like, what kind of analysis are you doing? I'm curious. But yeah, like, I have a friend who teaches violas. Look at the, yeah. I'm not too familiar with musical instruments. Vacuum plot is when you try and fit OLS into 12 billion points and all the air in the room is sucked up by the TV. I love that, Cryo. Thank you. That's pretty good. Complexes in math BS and analysis as in math BS. Well, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just curious if it was like a type of analysis that I was familiar with, that's all. Analysis on a complex plane, quite literally. When you say quite literally and plane, I'm just imagining that you are doing analysis on, like, an advanced literal airplane. Complexes in math, right. Thankfully, these are computationally easy simulations that don't need big GPU. Good, good. Did I ever tell you that the power analysis for my dissertation took 36 hours to run? Admittedly, I was running it on a laptop, which I probably shouldn't have been, but it took like 4 or 5 hours. I think it took like 6 hours to run on like a really advanced state-of-the-art computer with all the RAM. Just leaving my laptop sitting on my kitchen table for 36 hours, hoping that my cat didn't walk across it. Get big GPU ray tracing VTuber model that also mines crypto. No! No, I don't want my power bill to go up that high. I'm just a humble lecturer. I don't make that kind of money. Have mercy on my electricity bill, please. I feel like I had another thing I want to do collabs and then send them the crypto mining part. No. No. They all have gaming PCs anyway. I have a gaming PC too, but I don't want to mine. I have moral objections to mining crypto. I remember trading a graph neural network on like tens of millions of lines of assembly on my little ThinkPad. Oh my gosh, your poor ThinkPad. Yeah, I'm not at all surprised. Took a good couple of weeks, yeah. I'm glad that the power analysis I was doing took only like 36 hours, because the problem was I kept having bugs in my code, but you wouldn't know if the code was bugged until after it was done running. So I'd run it for 36 hours and then it would say error, failed to do blah blah blah. And I'd be like, shit. So I'd have to like do it again. And like for the test ones to make sure that it was working, eventually I decided like it was a whole bunch of simulations. I was simulating a whole bunch of data sets and regressions and things like that. Um, hey, call me Belladonna. Yeah, I was simulating a whole bunch of regressions, and so I just had it simulate only like 2 or 3 regressions instead of like 200 plus regressions, and that way I was able to like troubleshoot my code and make sure that it wasn't like bugging out or spitting out errors in only like 2 or 3 hours as opposed to 36 hours. Actually, probably the most annoying was when I was testing performance, so I couldn't touch the computer to do anything while I was running tests. I mess up. Yeah. I was in a. There's a simplest explanation of why OLS is blue under GM assumptions. No, I don't know enough about OLS to say that. And even if I did, I don't think I'm in a brain. I opened the linear algebra one and realized I don't want to die. That's good. Well, some months ago, I just had to do big float computations on my ThinkPad. Once each number was 2 to the 32nd power bits long, and I tried to calculate 1,000 of them. Julia told me no. Nice. R won't tell you no. R will try. R will try. I think I did crash my computer a couple of times trying to do stuff in R. As for Kobe Belladonna's suggestion of trying not to be sick, I've tried. I will continue to try, but unfortunately it's not working out very well. Maybe I'm just not good at it. Maybe I need more practice, but I don't want more practice. This is not an activity I want more practice in. Alright. That's basically what everyone does with machine learning stuff. They call it a validation set. It's a smaller. Yeah. I've done that before with machine when I was doing some machine learning. Just Sigma grind set the fever into an ice bath. I do have a bunch of ice cubes and a bathtub. I can make this work. Start fitting linear regression by hand for practice. The brain heats up and burns out the disease. Clee, that's a perfect idea. You've probably done that, but just for chat. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just doing it to test it to make sure the code worked. It wasn't really like a... But yeah. I've definitely done that when I was doing a little bit of machine learning. It's been a long time since I did any machine learning, but there's some grad students in my department who are looking into doing some projects with machine learning, and I've offered to help them with it. Who needs math when you can just look at it and draw a line with a ruler? Right. If only. Okay. These slides seem fine. I haven't touched machine learning for a long time. I used to do so much of this, right? I went through like a machine learning phase. Uh-oh. Sorry. Yeah. That came out louder than anticipated. I swear, I sneeze like an old man. Ugh. I wonder if my microphone even glitched with that. That would be funny. I'll have to listen back to that. Okay, so try this. If you want to figure out if your regression needs a bendy point, print it out and look at the paper from the side. Swear it works. Ooh! That's an interesting thought. So basically, so you're suggesting like to try and look at a, oh, thank you, Astral, if you're looking at a curvilinear effect as opposed to a linear. Oh, hello, Mr. Kitty. Mr. Kitty's very kind. Whenever I sneeze, he meows to check on me, and it's very, very cute. It's very, very cute. Yes, Mr. Kitty, I love you. He's a good boy. He's the best boy I've ever known in my whole life. Just draw it with a ruler. Ah, yes, the consultant way. 0 legal liability and predictive power. Just take 2 points and draw a line. The aforementioned graph neural network was my whole life for months, but it let me make friends with the NSA, and I can't talk about the machine learning that I did helped me get contacts at Facebook. So I don't know if they still have Facebook though. A lot of them got laid off. Yeah, if you have a collection of data points and suspect it's not entirely linear, watch it sideways. Genuinely works. That's cool. Imagine streaming while sick. Couldn't be me. Hey, fi. Yeah, you don't get to talk to me. You don't get to talk. You don't get to. No one gets to scold me here. Because the alternative is that I would be out exploring the city, and this is better than the alternative. Or I guess I could be napping. I probably should be sleeping, but do you have any idea how hard it is to sleep with a clogged nose? Of course you do. But I just don't like doing that. I don't want to do that. Maybe I should. Oh, but I don't have any NyQuil at home. That's the problem. I don't have NyQuil. Or else I could just like chug some NyQuil and knock out and try and sleep for several days until this clears up. Friend who showed up covered in scars. Apparently she fought a Google employee, got beat up bad, but said it was worth it because you had it's like dead connection. We have enough Mothman sightings. Please stay inside. Okay. Okay. Person in academia, you're refusing to take breaks and water is wet. You're so right. Speaking of sick, not so fun fact. Every time I catch your live stream is because I simply wake up at midnight, but I'm so sorry, Cleo. Please get some sleep. Get some rest. Oh my gosh, feel better. I'm so sorry. NyQuil, yeah. I have a NyQuil does work wonders. I don't actually have NyQuil sleep is crazy. Every time I wake up from NyQuil slumber, it feels like you just like NyQuil slumber feels like you like Rumpelstiltskin, you know? It feels like you just woke up 7 years later. Oh, hey guys, and how you doing? Oh, maybe she does. Oh, so she got beaten up because of a martial arts match. That's funny. I have no authority to talk about sleep, honestly. I did pretty well with sleep. I think I slept. Let me check Pokemon Sleep to figure out how much I slept last night. I'm pretty sure it was over 10 hours. Which is not honestly super unusual for me in the summer. Rumpelstiltskin or Rip Van Winkle. It might have been Rip Van Winkle. You're right, Clee. It might have been Rip Van Winkle. Rumpelstiltskin was Guess My Name. Rip Van Winkle. Rip Van Winkle. It was, yeah, Rip Van Winkle. Listen, I am but an egg. Okay, yeah, I slept 10.5 hours last night. How did you and Toxo avoid talking about Pokemon Sleep? I don't know, it just didn't come up. I'm pretty sure I fed my Snorlax while I was with y'all. I probably... No, it might have not been... I probably didn't. I joked that she's like a competitive Pokemon sleeper. I'm not really good at maxing my Snorlax. I did get my Snorlax to Master 19 the other week, but that was because there was like cooking bonuses. Everyone needs an a la carte nap in someone's basement every now and then. Yeah, it's true. I could really go for that. A basement sounds nice and cool. Toxo should add me as a friend on Pokemon Sleep. I would add Toxo on Pokemon Sleep. I think Master 18 is the best I got. Yeah, Master 18 was the best I got until last week. I got to Master 19, and I was so sad I didn't make it to 20. Got like 1 or 2 hours of sleep in the cheapest hotel in Brussels. I had to get up at 4:30 to get... Why do you keep waking up at 4:30 a.m.? Why does this keep happening? Also, Fi, I need to hang out with your wife more. Toxo's great. I want to hang out more with Toxo. And you too, of course, Fi. You too, of course, Fi. But I get to talk to you a lot more than I get to talk to Toxo, so... People were coughing and throwing up and yelling the whole night. That sounds like my night. Okay, not really. I got a lot of sleep last night, but... Do not go to the cheapest hostels in Brussels. Oh, hostel, not hotel. Yeah, I'll try and avoid that. Like, I need to hang out with your wife more. I'll leave some for the rest of us. No. I'm taking all of your wives, I'm taking all of your girlfriends, and we are all going out and getting delicious food, and then we're gonna talk about Pokemon Sleep. And I'm gonna have them info dump on me about Labubus. I need to learn more. I need to learn more. Trying to avoid hostels in general is a good idea. The hostel that I stayed in Japan was pretty nice. Outside of that one, like, well, I wasn't there for that, so that was fine. That one story. I feel like I'm becoming nocturnal. Yeah, that's dangerous. My natural sleep cycle is something like 1 a.m. to 11 a.m. There are decent ones, you have to be careful. Yeah, it's true. If you can get my boyfriend addicted to Pokemon Sleep and sleep in general, you have my everlasting loyalty. I'm not good with that. I'm not good with men. But I can try. I sleep for a short number of hours and then wake up very early morning sometimes. Oh, I'm sorry, Marlon. I'm so sorry. Look, I can't even get my partner to sleep. I need to get my partner to sleep better first. uh, Once I'm up early, I sometimes like to go and wander before everyone's out. That does sound really nice, Marlon. I would love to do that. I did that a little bit in Japan while I was out there because, you know, jet lag, and it was really nice. Pokemon Sleep sounds like some cyberpunk horror. Stop colonizing our sleep cycles. Let me tell you, my life for a while was Pokemon. Like, whenever a new Pokemon came, when Pokemon Violet and Scarlet came out, it was like I would wake up, or I would Pokemon sleep, and then I would wake up and I would Pokemon go outside, and then I'd come home and I'd play Pokemon Violet before it was time to Pokemon sleep again. My life became Pokemon. Now I only Pokemon Go and Pokemon Sleep, and occasionally, actually I'm back to playing Pokemon Snap again a little bit. My sleep cycles from 1 a.m. to noon. I feel you, Kaizen. That's a lot of sleep, though. Gotta catch all the Z's. Hey, Torg! Yeah, I gotta catch them all. Going to Sweden at 4 a.m. was generally one of the best decisions I made, so that does sound pretty inspiring. You can even Pokemon Smile? Yeah, I haven't done that yet. Apparently, Scarlet and Violet removed Pokerus mechanics? Why? Oh, yay! I get Toxo's Poke Sleep code, yay! Do you play Fi? Do you play Pokemon Sleep? Oh, I don't know too much about Mystery Dungeon and stuff like that. Pokemon IKEA Land? What's that? Gotta catch all the Z's, gets bombarded with Z's at sea. Oh no. If I completely ignore the outside world, I can easily sleep 15 hours. Oh no. I'm too dog water to sleep. Yeah, at sleep to even bother. Oh, poor Fi. I'm sorry. You should... You could... Oh well, okay, that means that I will be better buddies with your wife in Pokemon Sleep than you are. It's okay, it's okay. I won't actually steal Toxo. It'll be fine. I just want to be Toxo's friend. The Shiren the Wanderer series is a pretty solid Mystery Dungeon series. Ooh, nice. I doubt a new one will come if they didn't announce it in the presents. You never know. If you wait long enough, they might do it. I'm doing a really bad job of working right now. Alright, I wanted to check if Gallup's done another one of these polls. This is a poll, so it's like, though Shiren is not usually localized outside of Japan. Bummer! Spores of the Size, the best game story-wise in Pokemon. Ooh. Yeah, I've never played any of those ones. Maybe I should try them. I've become so dependent on caffeine these days. I'm not drinking enough pop to make my gut very mad at me. I can't stay awake. Oh no! I don't actually... Caffeine doesn't work on me. I think I've said that before. Caffeine does nothing for me, which is... It has benefits and drawbacks. There's been a few entries that have been released. I think the most recent is the Tower of Fate. That sounds cool. That just like... That's just a cool name, you know? Oh, yes, Shiny Frigiback can have a Dragon Tail and takedown for anyone who goes for them. Ooh, right, there's that event going on in Violet right now. Oh, it was Tower of Fortune. Ooh, okay. Poll. Or... I want to see if there's a more recent Gallup poll asking about prejudice. Like, are you prejudiced? Just plain caffeine puts me to sleep, so it has to be pop. The addition of sugar makes it work. Ooh, interesting. I did something to my brain during my double Starbucks espressos at nights, college days, and now caffeine makes me sleep instead. Oh no, Cleaver! I forget the name for that psychological phenomenon, and I don't think I'm gonna think of it with my brain overheating the way that it is. But like, you know, like state-dependent memory and stuff like that, and conditioning. You done broke your adenosine receptors? Oh no. I think I'm one of those people who, the translation of the method, Sweden land of IKEA and delicious fika, yay. Let's see. What was I doing? What was the phrasing of this? PowerPoint editing. What? What, Clee? Looking for a poll? PowerPoint editing. Yeah, I'm PowerPoint editing. Part of Fika is the breakfast pastries. I love pastries. I love pastries. No, Fika. I said Fika or Fika or I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. No, I like okay, so like I'm editing my lecture on prejudice and discrimination. And and there was this Gallup poll in 1997 that asked people, do you think that you are prejudiced? And then do you think that other people are prejudiced? And of course it's the, oh yeah, I got it right on the first try. Great success. um and only about like 15% of people said that they were prejudiced, but they said like but over 40% of people said other people are prejudiced. So it's the better than average effect, of course. Like other people don't have the I I am better than other people. Like people are underestimating their own prejudice or overestimating um, others' prejudice. But this poll, of course, is from this poll's from 1997, and I imagine most of my students weren't even born in 1997, so I'd like to find a more recent poll, you know? Xenotime, I don't worry, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm too scared. um, Fika sounds good though. I love pastries. I could really go for a pastry right now. Yesterday, I masked up. I washed my hands a billion times. I did not touch my face or anything. And I went out and I acquired a pastry. And I was very happy to have a pastry. It's very important. It's very important. I hope that we live in a society now inserting furries into prejudice presentation. Oh my gosh, this pleases the creature. Yeah, so the awkward thing about the prejudice presentation um is well, you can see my skin color, right? You can see my skin color. I teach at a very diverse university. Um and I'm just here, this exceedingly white Mothman, the whitest Mothman on Earth. uh, Teaching an incredibly diverse group of students about prejudice and discrimination, and it always feels uncomfortable. It always feels uncomfortable. Like my students say that I do a good job of it, so that makes me happy. And of course, like if I ever were to like fuck it up, I think they're comfortable telling me. Um, like I like to think that they would be comfortable telling me if I fucked up, and I tell them like, hey, if I fuck up, please tell me. But that means I feel awkward about using like real life, like really, because a lot of these students have experienced like pretty intense prejudice and discrimination themselves, you know? And I mean, I've gotten that too, being like hella queer and all, you know? But yeah, I'm very happy and honored that they feel comfortable telling me. I think that's a very important thing, to have your students be comfortable telling you if you've screwed up. Still, weird situation when the students are checking the teacher's work. Yeah, like I try and it's more about like because the academic part of it, I'm pretty comfortable with like I think that I'm pretty good there. But like it's more like am I using the language correctly and stuff like that. You know, I try not to put them in that position where they need to do that. You know, like I try my best to make sure that everything is, and that like I'm using the correct language for things, and that like I'm, you know, I try and be very careful about that, so that they don't have to. But I don't. It just feels weird talking about like things like racial discrimination and stuff like that to a room full of people who may well have experienced it when I have not. You know, it almost feels like mansplaining, even though I'm discussing it based on data that was a lot of it was collected by other people who have experienced those things. And it also makes it weird though, because like I like to include a lot of like real life examples in my lectures. That's where this was going. I like to include a lot of real life examples of prejudice and discrimination in my lectures, but at the same time, I really don't want to remind my students of like the horrors that they live with, which can make things difficult. So like coming up with examples of prejudice and discrimination that are real world examples, but also won't like make my students depressed and upset for the rest of the day can be difficult. But right now, the example that I came up with for this semester was tattoos in Japan. Like there is a lot of like stereotypes about people with tattoos, prejudice towards people with tattoos, and discrimination in some areas towards people with tattoos in Japan. And that's like a real life thing. That's a real example. Um, but it's an example that most of my students are unlikely to have personal experience with, and like personal negative memories of, if that makes sense. I'm hoping that that's a good example. Yeah, it's a weird position. Like you're in the academic authority on the matter, but in the room they have practical authority. Yeah, yeah. It's a weird position to be in. It's a weird position. Hair length? I'm not sure about. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm sure that there are certainly places in the world, and there have been times when like certain hair lengths will have certain reactions to them that I think that could work. But hair length is a bit. I don't know. Like, I can't think of. I don't. I guess hair is relatively easily cut though. Yeah, yeah, or grown out, and like that is a thing. I can't explain it. It doesn't feel, at least with the cultures that I'm currently aware of, that doesn't feel quite as weighty. Because, like, it's a balance, you know? You want to pick, like, you don't want to pick something that seems like, you don't want, like, a super watered down example, you know? You don't want to be, like, comparing the experience of, say, a Black American and their experience of racism and prejudice and stereotyping and discrimination to like somebody with acne, you know? Like it's not at the same level, right? So like comparing it to wearing a Hawaiian shirt, right? Yeah, like you don't want to like equate these two things. You don't want to, I don't know, it's a very difficult balance to strike. There's absolutely places in the world where you get picked on for having long hair as a male presenting person, specifically in post-Soviet spaces. Ooh, yeah, yeah. I'm not familiar with that, so I didn't end up using that as an example. But I'll have to look into that. That could potentially be a good example for the future. Yeah, or like I could bring it up in class. Like trying to come up with examples on the fly in class. I'll think about that. Yeah, comparing someone's real suffering to trivial suffering compares the trivialness of the real suffering. Yeah, yeah. Or like, I mean, it might not even be trivial suffering. Like, I mean, the severity of suffering is based on subjective experience, right? You can't necessarily compare what might be nothing to one person might be absolutely devastating to another person, you know? Um, oh man, yeah. Experience trans female friend had with getting physically attacked on the street because she presented male and lived in bumfuck nowhere, Russia. Yeah, yeah. I did consider, initially I was using discrimination against trans and non-binary people for the example. Because I'm non-binary and I'm like, well, I have personal experience with this. I feel more equipped to like talk about this. And like also part of the way that I do examples is like I play the straw man, or like you know, like I'll put out like, here's what somebody with this belief set might say. I do not believe this, but here's what somebody with this set of beliefs might say. And if I'm talking about discrimination against groups that I belong to, I feel more comfortable doing that because I understand the weight of those words on a very personal level. But like, also, I also like, when I was thinking of using that as an example, because like I feel like I can say these words because I understand the weight of them and they have been directed at me. I it occurred to me, of course, I have a lot of I have a bit of a reputation, I think. It's fairly well known among the queer community at my university that I am a non-binary teacher. I'm a non-binary teacher, and so I do tend to get a fairly high proportion of like trans and non-binary students in my classes relative to other classes, I think. And so I was like, maybe I shouldn't use that as an example, actually. Oh man. More, yeah. Here's what a bigot might say: a piercing shriek coming from the direction of the university's art department. Yeah. My students are very understanding of it, though. Like, I've told that Maori with facial tattoos get treated worse abroad because they get hit with prejudices against totally different kinds of tattoo. Yeah, Torg, I was thinking about that in terms of I think the prejudice against tattoos in Japan as well also gets into a whole thing because the Ainu people, who are a group of people that are native to Japan, native to northern Japan, have been there a lot longer than a lot of other groups. Part of their traditions involve getting facial tattoos. And so that they're already kind of like treated like a minority. They've been kind of like they faced a lot of discrimination and stuff like that. And the stereotypes around tattoos probably I think the Ainu tattoos are pretty distinct from what I've seen from other types of tattoos, but they are, face tattoos like sometimes. And so I imagine like the tattoo prejudice is not just, yeah, they lived in Hokkaido till the 1860s when Japan colonized it, right? I don't remember the details all that much, but yeah, they lived in the northern area, and yeah, that just been treated not so great, to put it lightly. But the whole tattoo stereotyping and prejudice and stuff like that, I don't it seems more related to the Yakuza than it's related to the Ainu, but I imagine they still get hit with that. Um, so it's like what you were saying with the Maori Torg. It's like there are other stereotypes feeding into this that get like they're probably also subject to other like stereotypes and prejudice and discrimination as well, but like they're getting hit with it from a different side as well. It's a whole thing. Oh man. Why are human beings like this? I mean, I know why. I know, like, based on what we know about how the human brain works, our brain can only handle so much. Like, it's hard to, um, oh man, Xenotime, I totally get it. Like, I completely, I've had similar experiences talking about both my gender and my sexuality, Xenotime. I completely, it's not, it's so weird. Or like, as somebody who's non-binary, they, them, all that stuff, but looks and sounds feminine. I have a really awkward time talking about my experiences where people are like talking down to me or like harassing me or whatever it is because they think I'm a woman. Because, you know, I am not a woman. I'm non-binary, right? But I have many negative experience. I've had many negative experiences in my life because people perceive me as a woman or think that I'm a woman. And talking around that is really hard. Like, as somebody who's often perceived as a woman, this has happened to me. Or, like it's very awkward to talk about. Honestly, methinks examples from honors culture with work. If you want something that your students might not have as much experience with, since there's a lot of socially normative things there. That's right, Clee. Actually, in the lecture that I do immediately before this, or I don't know, it's not immediately before this, but like in a week or two before the prejudice and discrimination lecture, I do a lecture on culture, and I talk about cultures of honor in there. Because that's a really fascinating cultures of honor. I think we don't talk about them nearly enough for like how interesting they are. There's another bi person that was publicly out, and like the two of us were like on the exact same wavelength the whole time. She totally knew. Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's that LGBTQ to LGBTQ communication. Yeah, the whole culture of honor thing is wild. It's wild. That's a bit more complicated though, because culture of honor tends to be more punitive to the individual and it's not necessarily group based, from what I've read. It's more about like individual honor, not necessarily the group that you belong to. What are stereotypes of digital presentations touch on anything similar? This might be very opportune though. I actually saw, this was more about race, but a couple of years ago, oh, sorry, that's not what you're talking about. But I think it's really interesting. I still want to get this person on. I was at a conference and somebody was doing this really fascinating presentation on research on how people's identities, like say their race or their gender or things like that, affect how they construct digital avatars. And I really would love to collaborate with this person and talk to her specifically about like how her research informs how like VTubers design their avatars, right? I think it's a really interesting thing. Like she was doing a lot of things specifically about Black people, like how do people who are Black, what are their considerations when they're choosing, say, the skin tone of the avatar that they use online, and like things like, it was so interesting. It was so interesting. In any case, stereotypes around free-to-plays. When one of would say something, the other would start nodding aggressively. It was great. Yeah, I love when that happens. In my personal experience, there's a lot of you as an individual have done something wrong because your group is supposed to be like that. So it's not group-based, but it isn't. That's interesting. So from norms covering the entire group. Yeah, yeah. In that case, it wouldn't necessarily fall under prejudice and discrimination, I think, because that's more norm violation, which is a bit different, but I get it. It feels depressing as hell to scroll through the I knew subgroup section and seeing most darks. Right, it's sad. Actually, not even just an avatar. Yeah, yeah. It's so interesting, the whole thing. And I would also love to do research on that. I really need to get in touch with her. I really need to get in touch with her. The last time, I could probably find an email from her real fast, because I remember she recommended Solo Leveling to me at the conference. She's like, you need to watch Solo Leveling. And then I watched Solo Leveling, and I sent her an email like, ah! And she was like, ah! So I could probably find her again and be like, hey, you want to come on the channel, talk a bit about your research? I've been wanting to do that for a while. Ah, yeah, I was digging into Culture of Honor. Yeah, the Culture of Honor stuff is wild. There's been some really interesting, like, fun research studies on Culture of Honor. Like, there's this one research study that I talk about, that... There's this one research study I talk about when I talk about cultures of honor. That was a really fun research design. It was like, what they would do was they got people who were from a culture of honor or from a different culture. Like, specifically, the culture of honor in this case was the southern US. Certain areas of the south in the US have a culture of honor. And what they did was, like, they did this whole, like, thing. They did a whole study, and, like, they were asking some questions, but that wasn't the main point. The main point was that after the study was over, quote unquote, and when the study was over, the participant would walk out into the hallway. Culture of honor, let me see how I phrased this in the slides that I had. So a culture of honor is, here we go. A culture with beliefs, attitudes, and norms that emphasize mutual respect, toughness, and reputation. One's honor must be protected at all costs. It is acceptable or even required in some cases to use violence to defend your honor or reputation. So, like, if you've heard of the concept of, like, honor killings, where, like, say, a family's child, like, the daughter or something, like, has like premarital sex or something like that, or like does something that her parents view as unacceptable, like gets a little too rowdy while studying abroad or whatever, and then the family will, or like usually I think the father will literally kill his own child to preserve the family's quote unquote honor, because the child has brought quote unquote dishonor upon the family. Like, it can get pretty extreme. It can also lead to, like, you know, like, you have offended me and therefore I must get in a fight with you to restore my reputation or protect my reputation. Like, you have besmirched. Yeah, it's a whole. It is very disturbing to hear about. And, like, that's kind of like the extreme case of it, but, yeah. Yeah, that's like, yeah, it's a very interesting thing. I forgot what I was talking about. I should be working. What am I doing? I'm, what am I? Why can't I find, I need to, I just want to find a poll. Are you co-working? Uh, it's just frustrating that, cow orking, cow, oh my gosh. I just want to find a poll that's more recent than 1997 that asks people how racist they think they are. Co-working. Co co-working. Me when I work with the cows. Yes. Man, baby cows are so cute. Baby cows are very cute babies. I want to pet a baby cow. Co-woo work. Co co a woo working. Oh my gosh, what am I? What is what? Ah, ah. Uh, I just want to see the brain rot is metastasizing. Oh no, it's spreading. Hey Michael, welcome to whatever this is. My tracking is off. My brain is off. I don't know about drawing a line between discrimination and norms violation. A whole lot of discrimination takes the form of norms that a minority automatically violates. I think that that's a really interesting perspective on it, Torg. Yeah. Thank you, Astral. uh, that's a really interesting way of thinking about it. Norms is like, I usually think of norms as like how you're expected to behave and stuff like that. And it is true that like they're the dominant group in society, whoever is the dominant group in society tends to set the social norms. So that means minority groups who do not share the same type of social norms will be more likely to violate what is seen as the dominant social norms because they, you know, belong to a different group with different norms. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Yeah, I think that's a really interesting way of thinking about it, Torb. Thank you. What symptoms you got? Hope you don't have a fever. I don't know. I haven't actually checked to see if I had a fever in a couple of days, but I should probably do that. Um, Mostly I've just got a runny nose and a bit of brain fog, but when do I not have brain fog? Let's be real. That's just how I am. That's just I am. That's just how it is. If I don't have brain fog, then am I me? Hope you feel better soon. Thank you. I hope so too. I hope so too. I'm gonna sneeze on everything that you love. I'm gonna sneeze on everything that you hold dear. Hey, QB, welcome. I'd be very concerned if you didn't want to stop being sick. Yeah, I brain, therefore I fog. Clee, you've got it. That's my thing. You, a man, need to find a woman to marry. Feels like a norm until you're violating it. Mmm. Don't sneeze on Bochi. She will instantly die, probably. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Torg. I think you're bringing up a lot of really interesting and insightful points, and my brain is just. I can feel my brain overheating. Maybe I should take my temperature again to check if I have a fever. I think those are some really good points, though. Yeah, yeah, like a lot of it is. Yeah, I think especially. You're. Yeah, you are drinking enough water, right? Yes. I just finished a glass of water, and I have half a mug of green tea right here. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Every second of every day, I'm gonna sneeze. I give up. I can't find anything more recent than this. That's annoying. Gallup usually does. Thanks for the unintentional reminder. Yes, please go drink water. For my Twitch chat, or my Twitch, I need to make like some sort of redeem that like reminds everybody in chat to drink water, I think. Can I get a soda? Then I could have three separate drinks right next to me. I think that sounds like a lovely idea. Okay. Uh, Let me add a citation for this one. Um, the water's like 30% Dutch water, 70% German water, so they're mostly filled up this bottle. That's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. Talking about moral boundary. Moral psychology is so interesting. I would love to talk more about moral psych. I'm not editing that lecture right now, though, but I would love talking about moral psychology more. Okay, let's see if I can find a replication of this one. I will sneeze on everything that you love. Okay. Oh, we were talking about whether a lot of discrimination and prejudice comes from violation of social norms or perceived violation of social norms. Like how violating social norms is related to prejudice and discrimination, which is I think is a very interesting question because like the more I think about it, like some of it is at least some I would say like I need to think about it more, but Torg was arguing that a lot of prejudice and discrimination exists because, and correct me if I'm like mischaracterizing your argument, a lot of prejudice and discrimination exists because minority groups or groups that experience prejudice tend to have a set of norms, like how you should behave, like what is appropriate and what isn't appropriate, and things like that, that differ from the set of norms established by the dominant group. And because they are violating the norms set by the dominant group in society, they are perceived as violating social norms and therefore transgressing, and this fuels prejudice and discrimination. I think that's kind of the argument Torg was making, which I think is a very interesting argument. I'll have to see if there's any literature on that, because I think that you're very much onto something. It's also very interesting seeing progressive people online struggling through the idea of axes of discrimination might not be the same around the world, like explain the concept of whiteness might differ between, right? It's so interesting. It's so like, people are way too set in like their beliefs about, people are stuck like in their own cultural context a lot of the time. It's very difficult to take yourself out of your cultural context, because like we grew up in these contexts, we assume that they're the default, but that's not necessarily the case. Like the definition of what counts as white is very different depending on where you go, and in some cases white is the dominant privileged group, but if you go to a different place in the world, that is not the case, right? Probably not. Emotions can't be contained by social norms. People don't hate on different people because of their place in society. It's out of upbringing and self-prejudice. I'm not sure. I think Torg's very onto something. Because, like, if you think about, like, yeah, obviously have white skin can't be considered a norm violation, but the tattoo thing or the queer stuff are norms or discrimination depending on the context. Yeah. And a lot of, like, negative stereotypes about certain groups, like, oh God, I'm doing the thing again of, like, I'm struggling to, I want to come up with an example where I can set up, like, a prejudiced straw man, but I also feel uncomfortable saying this stuff. But, you know, like, if you have a stereotype that a group acts in a certain way, like, you know, let's say, different countries have different standards for what volume it's appropriate to talk at, right? Like, in some countries, you're expected to keep your voice lower, but in other countries, you are expected to speak louder. Like, there's this kind of stereotype, you know, that Americans are loud. And let's say I go to a different country where where the general volume is shorter, like it is quieter, but I'm an American, and so I'm used to talking at a considerably louder volume. People might have prejudice against Americans because I am violating norms of volume in their country by following the norms of my own country, but violating their norms, which might feed into stereotypes about Americans being loud, prejudice against Americans for violating norms because they are violating the volume, and so on and so on. Like, I think that could very much, I could definitely see that being a pathway to prejudice and discrimination. Yeah. How do I identify what terms are the terms used by people inside the group versus the dominant people of the culture outside of it? That's an interesting thing as well. How do I identify, where am I? If I should hate on X people like my fellow group members, then I will be out of a righteousness feeling. I mean, like, social prejudice can be a social norm. It absolutely can be. It can be affected by social norms. Social norms are actually one of the most effective ways of reducing prejudice, or at least reducing discrimination. Having social norms that say discrimination is unacceptable is one of the most effective ways of reducing discrimination. On the other hand, having a social norm that says discrimination is acceptable can very much inflame discrimination. It's a whole thing. It's very frustrating to talk with people who I know are good people with good intentions, who just have no idea about the context of what they're discussing. And yeah, I totally get that, Astral. It's very frustrating. It's so true. I ended up at a touristy place in Rotterdam with loud Americans that caused me physical pain. You're very loud. Are you American? No, I'm a metal drummer. Yeah, Americans also have different kind of loud when talking than just talking literally loudly, though. Yeah, I think that's also the case. It's like something about the cadence, and it's like it's hard for me to say because I am an American. So I'm immersed in this culture, so all of it seems normal to me. But there certainly are people who I'm like, you're being too loud, you're talking too loud. Like, I get that feeling sometimes too. Like adding all the extra bits in conversation that are totally unnecessary and just grind at you why Americans. Sorry, xenotime. Like in Japan, some MDF women might be called by others a term that rhymes with Obama, even though they might personally reject the term. Yeah, that I'm an American. Our condolences. Thank you. It is much appreciated. Yeah, like related to what Marlon was saying. That's the trouble with like the term queer. Like, I am totally comfortable with the term queer. I call myself queer, but I try not to use the word queer to refer to other people because I know that there's a lot of people in the LGBTQ plus community who are very much uncomfortable with that term because, you know, it has been used as a slur. There's like, it is difficult. Meanwhile, I'm afraid to talk loud when I'm alone in case anyone comes by and I would be inconvenienced. Me too, Alex. I constantly worry that if I'm too loud, I'll distress the people around me. Like, whenever I run into my neighbors in the hall, I'm like, have you been able to hear me? Like, have I been making too much noise? Like, I worry, like, with the streaming and stuff like that, and they keep reassuring me, like, no, I've never heard you, but I still worry about it a lot. I hope they're not getting annoyed with me asking. I don't see my neighbors too often, so it's not like I'm asking them every day. I ask them like once every few months because I don't run into them all that often. But you know, like I feel you, Alex. I worry a bunch about my volume constantly. Mainly because I also get really like I hate loud noises. I got diagnosed with an anxiety thing or stuff like that last week. Oh no, Astral, I'm sorry. Welcome to the club, but I wish you didn't have to be here. The opposite of that is also true. Like not having any bias on people makes them look unspecial, so they become expendable. Stop considering them people. I don't know. Usually that is the result of bias. It's hard to say. At some point, there's that Loki's wager territory where the people who think words are crazy or insane are the same type of thing as actual slurs, which in itself is very linguistics is a fascinating field. Linguistics is a fascinating field, and I don't like. I think the people who should get to determine what is and is not a slur are the people that it's directed at. And some people, and the problem is like groups are not a monolith. Some people might be totally fine with some language, other people might be very hurt by that language. My personal philosophy is that if I know that a word hurts people, like multiple, it's not just like one person. If it hurts multiple people, then I will try not to say that word. You know? Like I don't want to hurt people. I just don't. That's not a thing that I want to do. I don't want to be mean to people. I don't want to insult people. I was talking the other day, like, I have people that I don't get along with. I have people that I dislike. You know, like anybody. Anybody does. And I was talking with my sister about one of these people who has caused me a lot of distress over the past decade or so. And like has caused a lot of other people considerable distress over the past decade or so, or more than that, several decades now. And like it's generally agreed upon that this person causes a lot of people distress, whether intentionally or unintentionally. And my sister was like, hey Frost, welcome. My sister was like, well, you should just like, you should cause this person distress right back. And I'm like, I don't want to. I don't like being angry. I don't like disliking people. I don't like upsetting people. I don't like getting upset. I don't want to be involved in that, you know? Like, it doesn't matter how much I dislike somebody. I don't want to be involved in, like, making anyone upset, really. Because when I make other people upset, it makes me upset, you know? I don't like that. mm. I have some tests for having less depression than I believe. My anxiety is just a hair above red flag. Oh no. I don't understand the argument. That's not what the word means. It's in the definition when it's used by people like that. Yeah, Alex, like the definition in the dictionary is meant to reflect how people use the word. It's not that the way people use the word should reflect the dictionary. It's the other way around. The dictionary exists to explain the meaning of words, but the meaning of words evolves much faster than the dictionary can keep up with. Like, I think people get it mixed up. The words meaning, the dictionary, you know what I mean. I assume that you. It's also interesting how in academic and terminally online circles it becomes an enormous volume of theoretical baggage, where in real life most of the time the heuristic is don't be an asshole. Yeah. People get weird online. I mean, people get weird in general, but people, I feel like, get extra weird online. I could be wrong about that. Yeah, I get that. Being involved in other people's misery just leaves an icky, poisonous feeling inside. Yeah. Like, even if I really hate somebody, I don't want to be involved in their misery. And I know that's not necessarily a common opinion, but like, if I despise somebody, I still don't want to be involved in their misery, because it's just going to make me miserable. And like, if I really hate somebody, it's not worth sacrificing my own happiness to make them a little less happy, in my general view. Venom in the mouth just hurts the self, yeah. I just hold decade-long grudges not doing anything till I forget why I held them and let them go. Oh no. That's not the definition. Starts digging up a Wittgenstein. I don't know what that is, but that sounds funny. I did actually try to sort of get back at somebody who made my life suck in middle school, and it worked, and I've been terrified of myself for doing that and haven't gotten near that since then. Yeah, I think we've all had a stage like that. Yeah. Why give other people that power? Yeah. Mm, yeah. There are some people who like sometimes I'm like there's some people who like truly fucked up my life, like in ways that will never like, caused wounds that will never heal and stuff like that. And every once in a while I entertain like the thought of like maybe I should get some form of revenge. And then the second I start thinking of the fallout of that, I'm like, that is in no way worth it. Like, it doesn't care that my entire life, like, some aspect of my entire life has been irreversibly destroyed by this person. It's not worth it. Like, I won't gain anything from this. I don't think I would even gain satisfaction from it. So, like, I don't know. I may never forgive these people. Like, forgiveness, I think, is a good thing if you can achieve it. I think you should try and forgive people and not linger on things. But, like, that can be hard. But, like, even if I never forgive this person or these people, it's not worth it to try and take revenge. It's not worth giving them any extra effort, especially because you got to think about the fallout. You got to think about the fallout. And the fallout will not be worth it. Even if almost everybody supports your actions, it will not be worth it. That's my general thinking. I mean, who knows? I'm just one person, a very conflict averse person. So, I don't know if I'm right, but that's my general outlook. Let's see. Ultimate attribution error application. I have one from 2022, but it would be nice if I got. The thing with my experience in middle school is there really wasn't that much fallout. It ended pretty cleanly and I got everything I wanted, but it still felt, yeah. Well, I think my personal view is that those feelings of guilt are part of the fallout. Like, that is an aspect of the fallout, is like, how will your emotional response to this, what will your emotional response to this be? Like, in 2 minutes, in 2 days, in 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, 2 decades, you know? There's this one kid I get revenge on, but I did it by outwitting him, so I think that's fair. Maybe, who knows? I have some thoughts, but I have no idea how to express them right now. I'm stuck. Yeah, that's understandable. That happens to me a lot. Like, no external fallout does not imply no internal fallout. Yeah. Basically, from what I understand it, when guys, Wittgenstein's idea, family resemblance, was that things conceptually are tied by groups of traits rather than a definition, start from the opposite of platonic, sort of the opposite of platonic. Oh, interesting. Assuming your role models experience with these, do they regret their decision or not? I don't think that I have any role models who engage in revenge, because I just don't like that kind of thing. Ideal. So the answer to what is a chair is the thing that looks like a chair in enough ways to make us think it's a chair. Impacted greatly by my perception of language, epistemology, and gender, interestingly. My role models have generally been incredibly hate averse, so I've taken to trying my best to put out fires no matter how much I hate the person. Yeah. I find that, like, I'm just a conflict averse person. And I find that at least, like, even if there isn't external fallout when I do end up engaging in some sort of conflict, because like I'm mortal, I'm mortal. I make mistakes. Like, I do things that I will regret. Um, I always end up regretting it and feeling awful about it. It's just, like, for me, it is never worth it because I just feel shitty. Most people are conflict averse, I think. I think so too. Have I ever watched Castlevania? I've never watched Castlevania, unfortunately. Sorry. This sounds to me like a structural typing system is coding. A value is of a type. It can be proven to exhibit all the properties the type prescribes. Or perhaps. Ah, I see. This is reminding me of a really funny incident, during grad school. I'm so glad I'm not monetized so I can talk about this stuff without, like, worrying. So eye for an eye with second impulses, and then what? What's the point of it? Right. Um, Right. So, in grad school, there's this phrase like I forget the context of it. I think it was like in terms of censorship, like what is the line when something becomes porn or something like that. And the phrase was something like I'll know it when I see it. Like the response was something like I'll know it when I see it. And my advisor at the time was working on a talk about what is morality, what is morals. And that can be a very, like, yeah, it was a famous court case. Yeah, exactly, exactly. And my advisor was trying to do a talk on like what is morality? When does something become a moral issue? Where's the line between just like convention or norms and this is a matter of right and wrong, good versus evil or whatever. And it's a very vague line, right? And different people might draw it in different places. And so she was like, "Oh, I think that quote about porn is like a really great way to do it, like a really great metaphor. Like most people don't have a clear definition of what is morality, and therefore it's just kind of they do it on gut instinct. It's like they know it when they see it. And so she titles her talk. Oh gosh, I should Google this to see if this can dox me. Actually, come to think of it. Okay, other people have said this that are not her, so I can say it. In fact, I can't find her saying it online. I can only find other people saying it. So she titles her talk "Morality is like porn." I'll know it when I see it. That was the title of her talk. And so she sent us her slides. She sent me and the other grad students her slides to get us to look over them. To like, check over them, give her any feedback before she gave the talk and all that stuff. So we look over her slide. Or well, we don't. We don't look over her slides. We make it to the next lab meeting and she's like, "So what did y'all think about my slides?" And we were like, "You never sent them to us." And she's like, "I did. Here, look at my inbox. You can or like look at my email. You can see that I sent this to all of you." It went to our spam because the email had the word porn in it. It went to our spam. I don't know. I don't know if that's as funny to all of you as it was to me, but that was just hilarious to me. Oh, good times, good times. Yeah, oh good. I'm glad it's as funny to you as it was to me, because it was very, very funny to me. Grandpa, it's Tuesday, please. I think I think it's a very like nice way of if you're familiar with that court case of like I'll know it when I see it, like hey Azado, welcome. Like I think it's a very apt way of putting it. Like there is no most people don't have a clear line. They're just basing it on vibes alone. Oh, it does. Yeah, it absolutely does. Oh man. All right, let's see. Let's see if I can find a more recent example of the self-fulfilling prophecy. Do-do-do-do-do. Look at us go! I'm making progress. I'm so powerful. I am more powerful than the world. That's a lie. I'm so weak right now. You could knock me over with a strong wind. One of the greatest struggles of humanity is that we all have an inflated sense of self-perception. It's true. Yeah. Alright, I said I was going to be doing work. I got you. We understand ourselves and the world around us way less than we think I do. Yes, yes, Frost. That is so true. That was one of the first lectures I edited on this, actually. Self-fulfilling prophecy and, prejudice. I want to find a more recent study, because the study I'm currently citing is from 1974, and it's a cool study to talk about. But I would like something, more recent. Let's see, teacher's personality and self-fulfilling prophecy. That ain't it. That's not good. I want, the way I formalize it for myself is belong to a category is weighted probability on belonging to categories that comprise the category. Ah, what are some illegal places to get research places, papers to show on stream? Oh, okay. So, oh no, I'm gonna sneeze. So, the thing that you want to look for is, I'm gonna ignore those ellipses. Illegal to show, thank you, thank you all. So I'm gonna take that as like literally legal. Like I'm gonna ignore those ellipses and what they imply. What you want to look for is papers with a CC BY license. This is Creative Commons. It's a type of copyright license. Yeah, literally legal. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you want to look for papers with a CC BY license. And you can do this by like, most open access journals have one of these. So like Plus One is an open access journal, and I think almost all, maybe all of their papers have a CC BY license, which means that you can use them for a bunch of different things, including on stream. So let me show you. Plus One is an example of this. All right, let's go to Plus One. Or wait, I should. Okay, here's Plus One. And so what you do, let's find a paper on Plus One. Let's say canopy insect communities are shaped by the genes and phenotypes of their aspen hosts. That sounds cool. So on Plus One, you can see that this is an open access article. It says right here, open access. I should make this bigger. Here, maybe? Okay. No, that, So it says open access up here, which all articles in Plus One are, I think. And then we should be able to look and see. So if you scroll down on Plus One, open access is readable there. Yeah, okay. So there's this thing that says copyright. It's copyright to the article, to the authors, but it has a Creative Commons attribution license, which permits unrestricted use, distribution, and reproduction in any medium provided the original's author and source are credited. So Plus One, I believe all of their articles have this. And if you want more information, you can click on this. This is a CC BY 4.0. Just check. And most articles will have some sort of copyright statement, and the ones you really want are CC BY. So you can see the ones on Plus One, you're free to share, copy, and redistribute material in any medium or format for any purpose. This means you can read this on stream. Like, you can share this article on stream, adapt, build on material for any purpose, even commercially, like if you want to do things with it. Hey, Aggie, welcome! About materials where papers and electron microscope images came from different microscope than they said. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, you can do this as long as you give credit. Looking at stuff on Archive, but was worried about quality control. Yeah, that is a problem with Archive. Because it's not that, a lot of that stuff isn't necessarily peer reviewed. And also, I'm not sure if they'll be as careful as like journals will be about copyright statements. You know, you got to be careful. Oh, here's another one, actually. So here's one of the articles that I'm looking at to try and figure out if I can find a replication, right? And if we scroll down, we look on the right, license, copyright 2025, Franz Chris Tiwau, Johannes Superdono, and Ferry Simonjentak. You can see CC BY. It has the CC BY license, the Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 International License, which means I can share, copy, and adapt it. So you have to find articles that have a CC BY license. It doesn't have to be CC BY, but you need to like check the creativecommons.org, which is the website that I'm on right now, to see what it allows. And if it allows you to share it and adapt it, you can definitely put it on stream. You just got to make sure that you look at the terms. So for this, it's attribution. So I can say, I'm sharing this. This article is by these people. It's in the East Asian Journal of Multidisciplinary Research. Like what I usually do is I take the full APA style citation of the article that I'm going to be reading on stream and I put it in the description of the video. And that would count as my attribution, right? So yeah, just share alike wouldn't work then? I don't know. I'm not as familiar with share alike, but I would check. Let's see. Do journal subscriptions give sharing rights, or do you need to get some other 5-digit dollar license? Yeah, if you're subscribed to a journal, that doesn't count as sharing rights. Like, unless the journal explicitly says so, but like, I can't imagine a subscription journal would give you sharing rights in the copyright, because then how would they make money through subscription? It's like sharing your Netflix password, you know? Like, they don't want you to share the password because that's reducing the number of people that are subscribing to it. I think it basically has to be open access. Open access makes it a lot more likely. Yeah, and I would say probably only do open access stuff. You can also summarize and quote and whatnot. I think Dr. K does that a lot, even if it's copyrighted. Yes, because that's like transformative and stuff. You're only using as much, or that would fall under Creative Commons. You're only using as the minimal amount, like quote, and you're attributing it, and you're providing commentary or synthesis or something that goes above and beyond the material that you're using. So like just quoting articles should be fine. But if you want to show the full article, yeah, fair use. That's the term I was looking for. Fair use, yeah. But if you want to show the whole article, you got to make sure that the copyright license allows for that. So be careful about that. But there are whole journals that are open access. Criticism and review also works, yeah. But you're still, even with criticism and review, you can only show the minimum amount that you need to show to make your point. Like, you can't show the whole movie or something like that. You can only show, like, let's say I'm doing a movie review. I can only show, like, say, if I think that the color grading in the movie was horrible, or like the sound mixing in the movie was horrible, I can only show a short clip of it that demonstrates what I'm talking about. I can't show the whole movie. Can you get away with it being a parody? Parody is a difficult thing. You need to be able to defend that it's a parody. Ciderary paper reaction streams and shambles? No. No, we can still do Science React content. Ciderary, Z, me, Phi, Nep, all of us are sure that all of us make sure that if we're reacting to a paper on stream, it has this CC BY license so that we have the right to use it without any ambiguity, you know? Like, we are all very careful about which papers specifically we show on stream, we read on stream, we react to. Yeah, we're pretty careful for the most part. We try and be very careful about that. So the reaction streams, the paper reaction streams are not in shambles at all. Because we do our best to make sure that we have that we are legally allowed by their copyright license to do what we were doing. Oh yeah, you were joking, yeah. But just to clarify, in case, like, this is the strategy that we use. We check the copyright before we read a paper on stream to make sure that that's a thing that we can do without like journals hitting us with a DMCA or something, you know? Yeah, and if you want to like read papers on stream, this is what I would recommend doing. Make sure to check the license. Make sure to check the terms of the license. So do they want attribution? Like things like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right, I was checking to see if this is a replication that I could use in my lecture. Highlighting internal mechanism using the study adopts stereotypes not only shape students' self-concept, but also have an impact on their academic and social motivation. Students who experience negative stereotypes tend to have psychological barriers in the development of self-identity and social integration. And DMCA's by paper sounds wild to me, right? But I know some publishing companies that would absolutely do it. Imagining a secret underground den in an abandoned building in a sketchy part of town where people illegally react to scientific papers. That's so funny. That's so, yeah, but yeah, getting DMCA'd for papers has happened. Usually it's like, in fact, I think there's been multiple huge court cases like about people. Usually it's because these people are sharing like a lot of copyrighted papers, like huge volumes of it, but like this has destroyed people's lives. Like, journal companies, like publishing companies have destroyed people's lives over sharing large volumes of copyrighted scientific papers without, yeah, Aaron Swartz, yeah, that's a horrible, horrible story. Yeah. Me, the lawyer at the Random US Institute, banning some orange VTuber for yapping about my boss's paper on the internet. They were complimenting it. Oh gosh. But yeah, this is a very serious thing. Like, literally, at least one life has been lost because of this. Like, it's a real thing that you gotta worry about. It's very much a real thing. Mm-hmm. Aaron Swartz. So be careful. Be careful. It sucks though. Like, the consensus that I have, okay, look, bashing other people makes sense when they're blatantly trying to steal credit for your paper. Yeah, like if they're trying to steal credit for your paper, that's a problem. Not showing it on the internet. Yeah, it sucks because, like, most academic, like, this isn't all academics. Academics are not a monolith, kind of famously. We all disagree with each other all the time. But most academics that I've talked to would be perfectly happy to share all of their work for free. But, publishing companies get... Oh, the only reason Hub probably persists is that it's hosted and maintained outside of the reach of the US law. And even that is not enough to... Like, it has so many mirrors. Hypothetically, if such a hub were to exist, it would have a lot of mirrors. Hypothetically. I respect publishing companies and their capacity for enforcement. Same as pirating websites. You can de-index them, but places outside of Europe don't give a fuck about your copyright. Nah, yeah. It's a whole thing. There's a lot of things going on with that. Okay. I think this would count as a replication that I can cite in my lecture as a conceptual replication of this effect. So I could say, look, this still holds up in this paper that was published in last month. Even in Europe, there's surely no mirrors in the hub in Nordic countries. Certainly not. Certainly. If such a hub were to exist. Yeah, it's Europe and the US that care. Different places have different... The differences in copyright laws in different places is super interesting. Dr. Mylan dropping the modern fresh research papers right off the oven into their slides. Exactly. That's why I do this. Literally, this was published last month, this paper, that I'm saying, like, hey, check out, this has been replicated. Hell yeah, freshly baked. Yeah, I love it when I can do that. Like, hey, you think this is out of date? Because, like, the other paper that I'm citing here is from 1974, and it's like, yeah, you think that's old and out of date? Well, check this out. This effect replicates in July of 2025. Well, I mean, I'm sure they probably did the study, like, maybe even last year or the year before that. It takes a while to write this stuff up. But I know in Japan, their IP law is so strict to the point you have to make save file editors, leaves you liable. Yeah, Japan copyright law is really interesting. You see the current year in the citation gives immediate dopamine, right? Out of the oven, please cover with foil. Springer drones are seeking the heat signature as we speak. I can cite things without worrying about copyright. But, yeah, Japanese IP law is interesting. It's very, very interesting. It's quite different from American IP law. Like, the existence of doujinshi, like, Comiket selling doujinshi, is a weird little legal gray area in Japan. Like, you couldn't do that in the US. Like, doing something like that in the US would be a lot more difficult, is my understanding, holding, like, a whole doujinshi convention thing. But in Japan, it kind of exists in a legal gray area where, like, specifically, publishing industry allows it to happen because they're not profiting. They're, like, selling these things at cost is kind of the idea, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think for us, to an extent, that's kind of like it. There's kind of a similar thing in the US, too. Like, some people allow, like, certain copyright things to slip by unless they feel threatened. But then there's also like this interesting thing of like, if you don't enforce, say, a trademark or something like that, then you kind of lose the trademark if you don't actually protect it, which also leads to a bunch of shenanigans. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you don't have to defend your copyright unless you want to. Yeah. Yeah. The very famous fan scene around Toho. Yeah. Toho started out as a doujinshi, not like a fan doujinshi. So doujinshi doesn't necessarily, isn't just like fan works, it's just like anything that's self-made. But, yeah, that kind of like, it was just like Fate as well. Yeah, Fate started out as like, you could consider how Fate started as a doujinshi because it was like a self-published game. And I believe it was sold at Comic-Con. I believe the original Fate Stay Night was, yeah, roughly corresponding to the indie scene. Yeah. Anything that's self-made, does that mean like indie? Yeah. Yeah, I think indie's a good like way to, I was unprepared for sniff a jump scare. Yeah, actually, I've been doing pretty well. My nose hasn't been running. My nose has been gradually stopping running over the course of the stream. There's a science project video I'm working on where if I could buy a specific trademark that is now abandoned, it would make it hilarious but monies. Yeah. We can't all be John Oliver. I think joking trademarks are fine though. Like you can just say TM as a joke. I'm not sure. I'm not sure of the legality of all that. I'm not a copyright lawyer, but I have a friend who did copyright lawyer stuff. She doesn't work as a copyright lawyer, but she was trained as a copyright lawyer. Maybe I should ask her. Yeah, it could be. It was a mistake. Oh man. You probably can't, but there's literally no one to stop you. Yeah. Apparently each nostril takes turns flooding and unflooding when clearing out, or so I read once in a Hazel skimming the internet while sick. That's been my experience so far this sick time. It's true, the fandom can really do a lot. Especially in the age of the internet, you'll see like fandoms campaigning to get shows back on the air and stuff like that. Success, like Community pulled that off a few times. There's a lot of like, there's a lot of pros and cons of like how much fandom has gotten access to the creators of things. I find that if I drink a lot of water, my nose tends to super unclog. Maybe I should get another cup of water. Let's see. I have beef with Community. Aww. I like Community. The show, yeah, the show. I was a big fan of it back in the day. I tried rewatching Community this year and boy was it difficult. Oh no, is it one of those shows that really doesn't age well? Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that makes me sad. When I was a kid, I opened a door for my dad and he said, I see your value now, but of course I haven't seen Community, so I thought he was being honest and got real- No! It was nice. I was never a huge fan of comedy shows, but it vibed on stream. Yeah. I liked it was how it was meta. There's a Community reference on Discord stream. Yeah. Should I just not go back and rewatch it? Should I just let it live in my memories as something that was better than it actually was? Is this what I should... It's okay to experience discomfort and pain every once in a while. That's true. It's been a long time since I watched TV, yeah. I have an antenna. I don't have cable, I don't pay for it because I never watch TV. I have an antenna that only picks up like 6 channels. Sometimes I wish I could go back in time and warn myself that interacting with something more will detract from my enjoyment. It happens. I was an innocent child. Mom, we must accept the bad with the good. If nothing else, to know what you were able to enjoy in the past with the context of the present shows how much you've grown. That's true. That's true. I wish I could find a more recent poll for this. Why are all these like... I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna defeat. I'm gonna get a job at Gallup and make them rerun all these polls, and once they do and get that data, I'm gonna quit Gallup and then just use them in my slides. Fight, yes. Defeat, doubt. As a prof, are you allowed to just cite everything that works regardless of... You can always cite everything that works regardless of license, but actually using the material is a bit different. There are fair use allowances for using copyrighted material for educational purposes. So I can, like, if it's for, like, on YouTube, I would not dare use something, you know, like, on YouTube, I would not dare use something out of the copyright allowances because I don't think YouTube, like, as educational as I try and make my channel, I don't think that YouTube would be understanding of that fair use. They don't have time to, like, look at every little thing, you know? But for my lectures that I do in my capacity as a lecturer at a university, I'm less concerned with copyright because educational usage is fair use. And also, I don't think, like, Disney's gonna... Yeah. YouTube has its own rules about this stuff, and a lot of the rules are just with dubious algorithms decide not fair use enough. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to take any risks on YouTube. Me getting tenure so I can cite the ancient magic. Oh, no. Let's see if I can... Educational usage is fair use isn't true per se, but there are allowances for it in the US legal system, at least. Yeah. It's tricky. I really hate that YouTube forces you to give your full name to dispute it, and your address, too, isn't it? You also gotta get your address in there. It's a scary thing. I really don't want to put myself in that position. Met a wizard trying to cast a spell and it backfires because the spell is copyrighted. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I think your address is scary. Fair use for educational purposes. Let's see. Fair use test to determine whether a use is fair use. It does not require permission of the copyright owner. Fair use is highly fact-specific and can turn on seemingly insignificant variations. Yeah. Purpose. The purpose and character of the use, including whether... So, purpose of use. Materials should be used in class only for the purpose of serving the needs of specified educational programs. Students should not be charged a fee specifically or directly for the materials. Only portions of the work relevant to the educational objectives should be used. Fair use applies more narrowly to highly creative works. Accordingly, avoids substantial experts from novels, short stories, modern art. Instructors should not distribute copies of consumable materials such as test forms or workbook pages that are meant to be used and repurchased. Materials used in classrooms should generally be limited to brief works or brief excerpts for longer works. The amount of works used should be directly to the instructor should consider whether the copying harms the market sale of copyrighted material. Material used in the class include a citation to the original source of publication in the form of copyright notice. Instructor should consider whether materials are reasonably available at affordable students. Yeah, I think everything that I do for class would fall under fair use for education. Yeah. What was I? Right. I'm gonna sneeze on everything. Stereotype endorsement over time. All systems are messy. Unfortunately, things that seem bad to us are consequences of multiple interacting systems. Often, yeah. Oh, bless you, thank you. Not like their automatic systems are so bad that people went to Twitter to beg to be unbanned, and now they're also automating with AI. It's, I mean, the problem is like working at anything at scale. Like, imagine trying to do with like just at the scale of YouTube, trying to do anything at that scale is like there's no system that's going to be perfect. No system is going to be perfect. Yeah. Yep. Oh man. Correction needed. No system that doesn't involve hiring people and paying them. People aren't perfect. People aren't perfect, Clee. There aren't people. People can make mistakes. There's this whole problem with like using qualitative data, like coding things, like is this person being polite or not, and things like that. We have to be very careful with that in science, and we have to like double check a whole bunch of stuff. It's never going to be perfect. Like people doing it manually, it's not going to be perfect. Using some sort of algorithmic system, not going to be perfect. The algorithmic system might always come to the same conclusion every time it's used, but it won't be correct. Humans probably will come to different conclusions on the same material. Looking at it, whether it's different humans or the same person at different time points, they'll come to different conclusions about the same thing. It's like no system, whether human or automated, or whether manual or automated, will ever give the correct result every time. I don't think that that's possible. Oh no, Xenotime. Oh man. YouTube's already negative. There's no way hosting, like, there's so much. Alphabet Inc. is such a terrible name, they shouldn't have changed it. Oh man, where am I? What am I doing? How do you improve YouTube while also removing its finance? I don't know if it's yeah. There's a general idea of how YouTube works is not horrible. They just need to actually try to have it do what it says. There's so much. I'm gonna sneeze on everything you love. I'm gonna scream, and I'm gonna sneeze, and I'm gonna lay face down on the floor, and I'm gonna take a nap. Is that a war crime? I hope that's not a war crime. It's also not possible. I can't possibly sneeze on everything that all of you love. I don't think that's possible. It's an empty threat. Man, I can't find anything more recent than the... I mean, I guess that's kind of okay, because it kind of goes along with the point. If you very much stretch the definition of war crime, it is. Just like how during COVID, sneezing on somebody could be considered assault. I never said... I said everything, not everyone, though, so... Violent sneezes on every... Global brings the global rail network to a halt. I would never do that. I love the trains. We must allow the trains to be their free selves. I brought the new shoes. Oh, good for you, Eggy. I'm happy. New shoes are nice. Unless they're the type of shoes that you have to break in, and then that can be kind of a nightmare. The problem is that the system is incredibly opaque with little no ability to contest it. By the point, we might remove disputes altogether. Then again, yeah, it's definitely not ideal. I think just the scale of YouTube is unmanageable. They're trying, but it's just non-ETCS calls the screen for the call. I see. They're idle boots. Ooh, idle boots. Nice. Those are uncomfortable as hell. I think. At least the one, like I cosplay. I used to cosplay a lot more, but like I cosplayed a character from Sailor Moon, and that's kind of the type of boot that I'm thinking of. And those were deeply uncomfortable. Maybe that's a skill issue. Maybe it's because I'm cheap and I bought, like, inexpensive ones. If they had no ability to contest copyright disputes, content owners could just prey upon everyone smaller by copyright. It's true. It's true. When's this study from? So funny, Europeans created the European train control system, which was awesome, but they knew they had a gold mine on their hands, etc. It's all over the go. Oh no. Not necessarily talking more general TOS. Yeah. I'm just... My brain's braining badly. Brain badly. Copyright is its own beast with multiple systems in place. Got an idea. DMCA claims are true. A general TOS, just like you can do things on YouTube and get flagged for breaking TOS for them, and like maybe it doesn't actually break TOS. There's like a lot of everything is because it's not just copyright. Like breaking copyright is not the only way to break TOS. There are other ways. Stuff like mass-produced content, for example, a thing they've been cracking down on. Ooh, content ID is a messy way to try and save money and mass by having AI copyright claims. Yeah, yeah. They named everything Euro, your non-European trim, passing in front. I feel like I'm getting really worried about my brain. I'm looking at the words, I'm reading the words, and I'm not understanding the words. I'm not internalizing what the words are at all. This is concerning. Oh no, I'm gonna sneeze on everything. Oh. Have I been sleeping regularly? Yes, yes, I have been sleeping regularly. I got 10.5 hours of sleep last night. Yeah, I think it's the being sick. Clee, I get you. Like, my voice is... I have thoughts about that. Oh, did Sai just go live? Sai went live 20 minutes ago. That's exciting. That's exciting. Maybe I should just stop and we could do a cross-platform raid and decide. I already forgot the raid message. Being sick is very hard. I hate it. I don't like it very much at all. Rest is important. Rest is so important. I could sleep some more. Sweet bunny boy, Mr. Kitty. Do you recommend the naps? The naps are so good and important. He take a good nap. I love cat. Sleep stream 1. I might do an unintentional one at this rate. Hopefully not. I don't want to do a sleep stream. I don't want to do that. That sounds scary. Call it a gaming stream, except I'm playing Pokemon Sleep. VTuber sleep stream where it's just the model staring into your soul as nothing happens. People have done that. People have done that. Pick a chat and stick to... Oh no, Frost, are you watching both me and Sai right now? VTuber sleep streamers. Wait, Mr. Kitty, otherwise known as someone, is true. You're not my mom. You should have the model just slowly get bigger and bigger while you sleep. Wait. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Nice. Nice. Low resolution Mylan is here. You think you're safe? You're not safe. What are you telling Sai? What are you telling Sai? What do you do I need to go into Sai's stream right now and stop you? Do I need to do that? Do I need to go fight? I am in your walls. I'm gonna attack. I'm gonna fight you. And I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna pop out of your walls when you least expect it. Yes, everybody study psychology. Xenotime, you should do it. Go. Go change your entire life. Change your career, go study psychology. It's so important. Ha 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 ha. You cannot escape. You cannot escape. You cannot get away. I know, I see what you're doing. I see. I'm forcing a collab by being a menace. No! I'm being bullied. I'm being bullied. Why am I being bullied? What did I ever do to you? I have done nothing but be nice and educational. I am very kind.
I'm gonna test it.
What is happening?
Oh wait, no, the beans isn't work.
I need to. Okay. I'm putting on my headphones. I'm gonna see what's happening with Sai. I need to make sure that you're not causing any trouble over there. There's 3 people in both. Why is this happening? No, headphones, headphones. Okay, it seems like things are not causing problems. Okay. I think we're safe. Great success. Okay. You're not causing trouble. You see, you made me believe that all of you were causing trouble, but you're not actually causing trouble. Go sleep, you sneezy, sleepy person. I probably should. I'm not actually getting that much work done. Maybe if I just watched Sai's stream, I would actually get work done. Go sleep then? No, sleep is for the weak. I got 10.5 hours of sleep last night. I don't need any more sleep. But I should probably work some more. I should probably, like, lock in and actually get work done. I say, knowing that I'm gonna go play Uma Musume or something like that. I am the weak. Just because I'm sick doesn't mean I'm weak. I'm the most powerful being on this planet. I'm the most powerful creature ever. Sleep is an obstacle that needs to be removed. Hey, Warpy! Marlin, you're probably right. You're 4 feet on a good day. I am very compact strength and power. Yes. The vibes are impeccable. Oh my gosh, I can't. What? Chimp? What I'm going. Thing gets mad terrible rolls on a horse. I don't need good rolls. I'm here for Agnes Tachyon. That's all I care about, and she's a 1-star rarity, so I don't need good rolls on that game. I just need more copies of my mad scientist horse. Oh, thank you. I really love coloring eyes. Coloring eyes is my favorite thing. Though I made an error here. You can see the white of my eye has yellow on the left eye, but not on the right eye. I messed up. Goated choice, thank you! Coloring eyes is my favorite thing to do. I love it. I'm so happy with coloring eyes. Okay. Alright. I should... Maybe I should fall to peer pressure. My friends posted about that, and I love her vibe too. I'm a sucker. Uh-oh. Sai is talking to me. No! Help. Help. Literally unwatchable, I know. No! No! Sai's trying to make me go to sleep too. Maybe I should. But that feels like that I'm caving to pressure. It feels like I'm caving to pressure, and I don't want to cave to pressure. I'm not weak. I'm powerful. What if we do? Stop! No! 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 Okay, I'll just get more work. Alright. Yeah, maybe it is time to end the stream, though. I'm gonna get more work done, but I'm gonna end the stream. Take care, everybody. Let's cross-platform rate. Oh no. I clicked away from it. I will go to sleep. I'm gonna Why are you being mean to me? It's size chat. I'm gonna I give up. Thank you, Eggy. Alright, let's go to sleep. Here. There is Sai's stream. Thank you all for joining me on this journey. Get well or get bullied. What's the raid message? Fine, you win, but only because I let you. I don't know. Good night. I don't know, I'm bad at raid messages. Myelin raid, you win. How about that? Myelin raid, you win. Alright. Good night, everybody. Crowfoot rage. No! No! We do not use the F word. Alright. Bye, everyone. Take care. Have a good day. Thank you for coming. Bye.